Women of Their Word is a new play about Australian women poets. Now, it was to be performed by Theatre Redlands at the Redland Museum in March this year to coincide with International Women's Day, Women's History Month and World Poetry Day. However, a certain little virus put paid to that sort of scheduling, but the show will go on. As the union says, the curtain will rise again. So as soon as it's humanly possible, you'll be able to come and see it. In the meantime, we thought we'd keep things bubbling along by introducing you to the actors and the other theatre operatives who are vital to this production. And today I'm joined in the cyber studio from many suburbs apart by Donna Magrath, who's the music director. Donna, welcome.
Hello, Jan. Thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure. Now, you're a teacher, a singer, a musician, a composer, frequently a music director. With something like this, the Women of the Word it's a series of vignettes about very different sorts of women doing different sorts of things. How do you approach it musically?
So, from my perspective, I can get an idea of what you're after we have a discussion or when I have a discussion with any director. But with this one particularly, Jan, this was the one that gave me a few challenges in that it's all about Australian women. It's about very strong Australian women. And while you could sort of naturally match the music to the actors, I have to find music, Australian music, that represents these type of women. They're not sort of down shearing and doing all that. These are women that they've made massive changes to society. Not that the shearers haven't made massive changes, but these women have, leaps and bounds, and they've made all sorts of differences to people's lives. Leona Kyling, for example, my goodness, she's an authoritative, outspoken businesswoman, hugely successful. And to find music that's going to suit a personality like that, that's an interesting challenge. And then on the other hand, you have the suffragettes. Oh my goodness. And we're trying to find music that suits the movement of those women who were trying to find a voice and be heard. So you can see that there's an umbrella of a type of music that I'm looking for, but then in there are little pockets where they're all very different as well. So this was a good one to work on, and we're still in progress.
Are there some pieces of music that are almost self-selecting, like this tune or this song just has to go with that person? I'm thinking here of something like Maybank Anderson from Phil Lobel's wonderful play, Dames and Daredevils for Democracy, a suffragist who also educated children through song and music and verse. She has a song, the Possum Song. So there'd be some, and I'm sure you found other cases where a certain song just had to go with a person. Is that very limiting for you to do a combination of songs that select themselves and stuff that you source and stuff that you write?
Right. Well, that's a really good question, particularly when it comes to Maybank and Louisa. So with
and
those
that's Louisa
two,
Lawson, Henry's mother.
Louisa Lawson. With those two, it wasn't so much a lyrical melodic tune as it was for some of the others. For those ones, I wanted something that was weightier, that was more concrete, that really represented what they were doing. And so while we have the Possum Song, which is just a delightful, beautiful little song, there's another creation that, yes, it popped into my head, and I feel like I wanted to find actual recordings of the suffragette movement. So I went searching, and didn't I find some? They're pretty, that you get little snippets, little bits here and there, but there are actually recordings from 1910, the one that I'm thinking of, where the women are out on the streets and they are, they're calling and they're speaking, and there's the police whistle in the background. And so I've taken that sort of idea, it's certainly not a song, but that sort of idea, and applied it on top of song and on top of other sound bites that represent that movement. So it can be really anything. It doesn't have to be a song all the time, or a piece or a melody.
Were any of the characters particularly challenging?
Leona Kylie. Yeah,
We'll have to
he
speak to
really
Nick
was.
Wright about that biography he wrote of her. It's all his fault.
I don't know why. I think it's because I've got a soft spot for Leona Kylie, just because, you know, the hall is down the road here and everything.
Yes.
But there was that poem in hers called Night, which describes night, obviously, and certain elements of night. And I felt like I wanted to go with that one as part of her overall picture. But her representative piece, yeah, I think that was the most challenging one for me. But then, having said that, they're all challenging, aren't they? Oh, goodness me.
Well, for a
Judith,
perfectionist like
Dorothy,
you, they would be.
do you
Could you
think that's what it
play?
is?
Could you play a sample of one of them for us, Donna?
Yes, of course. So I'm going to be using a particular book that that I had in mind.
Why
That
does my cat? Right.
you lent to me some time ago. What does it say?
Why does my cat? I think you might have
Oh,
picked up the wrong book.
I beg your pardon. Yes, I've got the wrong one. No, yes. So what I meant
You
to show
had
you
me challenged
that
then. Oh,
was actually
yes. Found in a second-hand bookshop in Glasgow many years ago. And I thought that would
well,
come in handy, that.
and it did, and it did. So I just want to refer to some of the terminology in this poem, because this will give you a better idea as to why this one particularly spoke to me. The adjectives are, some of them: gaze into a million lights, soft breeze gently fans my cheek, watching the clouds as they pass by, a soft moon spreads her light around. You know what I'm getting at there? It really does depict an atmosphere of night. And so when I came across this one, I changed a little bit, but I didn't have to change too much, and I think you'll see why.
Oh, Donna.
And now,
That's lovely.
if that does, thank you. That doesn't
Anne-Marie
depict
Anderson,
night.
sorry.
If that doesn't depict night, I don't know what does.
That is wonderful. Anne-Marie Anderson, who plays Leona Kylie, will be absolutely transported by that. That is just beautiful.
Yes,
Thank you.
I hope so. It really is lovely. And that's one of the pieces out of that book. So didn't it come in handy or what?
Didn't it just? Because music is one of those things that is so evocative and does so much that you're not conscious of about setting the mood. It's a great manipulator of emotion, isn't it?
Yeah. And I want to say something too. That's a really good point you make there. I try to keep the music as a blank canvas. Sure, it suits the character, but I never want it to be too recognisable. Because if you make it too recognisable, people have already got this, understanding of what they think the music's about. But if you go searching and you find something that's a little bit obscure, it's a blank canvas. And then they get to put their emotion onto that music based on the character before, or what's just happened before, and then what's happening after. It becomes their own construct.
That's right, and involves the emotions and in the intellect, in a way, of the audience as well. You're a very
That's right. The
woman,
audience
Donna
get to
Magrath.
well, they get to put their own construct on top of the music, their own perception, and from their own biases. And that's a fun thing to do. That makes it all the more interesting.
That's absolutely wonderful, Donna. Thanks so much for joining us today. It's been great to speak with you.
Thank you, Dan. Good to talk.
That's Donna Magrath, singer, musician, instrumentalist, composer, and for the Women of Their Word, the music director. The next interview we'll be doing is with another manipulator of emotions, James Auld, the lighting director for the show, and of course the music and the lights are the things that get into your heart and turn things around without you even being aware of it. I'm Jane Neary, the Theatre Redlands. Speak soon.